Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Democrat leaker makes monster announcement about Trump-Russia probe, no collusion. Democrat information leaker Representative Adam Schiff has finally announced what everyone has known for a long time about Donald Trump's campaign and Russia. There is still no evidence of collusion. It never happened. Watch. From the Federalist. Representative Adam Schiff conceded Thursday there is still no evidence President Trump or his campaign colluded with Russia to win the election, and made a point of distancing himself from any charges of treason against the president. Schiff has been driving the Trump-Russia collusion narrative on behalf of his party for months from his seat on the House Intelligence Committee, claiming recently he has seen more than circumstantial evidence of collusion. But he offered nothing substantial to back up his claim when pressed on The View to get specific, and acknowledged hard proof of collusion may never materialize, even after an intensive and months-long investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller. Fox News Insider has more. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice delivered a blunt message to Representative Adam Schiff, Democrat California, when both appeared on The View Thursday. Rice expressed the hope that the House Intelligence Committee will soon conclude its investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. "I appreciate what you're doing for the country, but I really hope you can wrap it up. The country needs to get back to business, so that's my greatest hope is that this gets done," she told Schiff. It's about time Schiff clears the air. No collusion. Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini applauds the idea of guns being banned in U.S. Sayyid Ali Hosseini Khomeini, the Supreme Leader of Iran, is applauding the notion of a disarmed American citizenry. "No one dares apply the clear solution to the promotion of guns and homicide in America. What's the solution? It's to make guns illegal," he wrote on Twitter Sunday. He also ignored rights provided by the Second Amendment, and slammed President Donald Trump and Congress for not simply disarming the public. The criticism advice comes from a leader in a nation that imprisons women for refusing to wear headscarves and follow other dress code enforced by the government. What did he say about U.S. religious beliefs? As Iran's supreme leader, Khomeini is the highest-ranked political and Islamic religious figure in that nation. As such, he also criticized America's religious beliefs. Khomeini added the country's inability to act was due to a lack of spiritual ideals, leading Western societies to this point. He explained how he believed a nation could achieve bliss if it preferred religious and divine ideals, arguing those ideals should influence investment in science and drive economies. Today, in U.S., violence, moral corruption, collapse of family, children and next generations have reached a level where U.S. intellectuals insist on changing the content of movies, advertising, Hollywood cinema, etc. to that of 100 years ago with more moral aspects, Khomeini wrote. Iran has been in a state of turmoil this year because women have been fighting for the right to expose their hair in public, among other civil rights issues. This is not the first time Khomeini has lashed out at Trump online. In February 2017, he took to Twitter to blast the Trump administration's immigration policy, specifically its travel ban, which affects Iranian nationals as well as citizens of several other majority Muslim countries. Obama's CIA chief goes on unhinged rant about Trump. "He's unstable, inept, inexperienced, unethical." Former CIA Director John Brennan must have forgotten who his boss was. Barack Obama was the most corrupt president America has ever seen. And yet, Brennan has the marbles to attack President Trump in a vile way. Check this out. It's pretty terrible. From The Hill. Former CIA Chief John Brennan on Friday predicted rough waters ahead, particularly on international issues, saying President Trump is unstable, inept, inexperienced, and also unethical. In an interview with MSNBC's Deadline, White House, Brennan told host Nicole Wallace that the president was ill-prepared to take on the duties of commander-in-chief, particularly growing military aggression from Russia and North Korea. It is no secret to anybody that Donald Trump was very ill-prepared and unexperienced in terms of dealing with matters that a head of state needs to deal with, head of government, and I think this is now coming to roost, Brennan said. Business Insider has more. And I think this is now coming to roost, Brennan said, referring to the magnitude of the chaos that seems to flow constantly from the Trump White House. He expressed concern that in the midst of it all, Trump is no more prepared to lead nearly 14 months into his presidency than he was on day one. There's a part of me that had been very angry at Donald Trump for the things he said and things he did, Brennan said. I am now moving into the realm of deep worry and concern that our country needs strong leadership now. Brennan is a complete joke. He never should have been head of the CIA. The man is a dolt. This is the bottom of the barrel. Jimmy Kimmel uses pedophilia film in attempt to shame Pence on Oscars night. Sunday's 90th Annual Academy Awards ceremony was chock full of politicization and jabs at prominent conservatives. During the opening monologue, host Jimmy Kimmel made references to #MeToo and Time's Up, two movements aimed at ending rampant sexual misconduct present in the entertainment industry. However, the host's preaching seemed somewhat hypocritical, especially when he hurled a poorly timed joke at Vice President Mike Pence. Of the 9 Best Picture nominees, only 2 made more than $100 million. That's not the point, Kimmel said. We don't make films like Call Me By Your Name for money. We make them to upset Mike Pence. The joke was widely panned on Twitter as being a pathetic admission of just how low liberal elites will sink in order to criticize the Trump administration. However, the joke was more than just flat, it was hypocritical. The film Kimmel referenced, Call Me By Your Name, centers around 2 gay individuals who engage in a sexual relationship with each other. It is no secret Kimmel's trajectory for the joke was aimed at Pence's devout Christian background and opposition to legalized gay marriage. However, Kimmel's joke was tone-deaf at best. The relationship featured in the movie would be considered illegal in areas of the United States, as one boy is a 17-year-old minor while the other man is a 24-year-old adult. While the film is set in Italy, which has a different set of laws regarding sex with a minor, in parts of the United States the act would be considered illegal. The joke is even more painful to listen to when considering that Hollywood was rocked in 2017 after countless instances of sexual misconduct within the industry began surfacing. Because of this, the film received widespread criticism even before Kimmel's ill-timed joke. Actor Corey Feldman, an entertainer at the forefront of exposing pedophilia in Hollywood, responded on Twitter after being told the film did not include instances of child grooming. Really? Have you seen it? What's it about then? How do you justify a grown man starting a relationship with someone's child? Feldman asked. Gabe Hoffman, co-producer of An Open Secret, a 2014 documentary centered around child sexual abuse in the entertainment industry, stated that the film was questionable at best. We think it's at least questionable, Hoffman told the Washington Times, adding that at worst the film is glorifying pedophilia. As noted by the Times, the creation and release of the film is even more apparent when taking into account that in California, the age of consent is 18. Many users took to Twitter to voice their dislike of Kimmel's joke, and some even took a few jabs of their own at Hollywood elitists. Democrat lawmaker found guilty of multiple felonies, now he'll pay the ultimate price. Another Democrat caught breaking the law. Go figure. Check out the story of a liberal state senator from Texas. It's a doozy. From Daily Wire. On Thursday afternoon, a Democratic Texas state senator was found guilty on 11 felony charges, including multiple counts of fraud and money laundering, reports the Texas Tribune. State Senator Carlos Uresti was charged last year for his role in what authorities called a Ponzi scheme involving a bankrupt oilfield services company called Four Winds Logistics. Uresti, the Texas Tribune says, used his prestigious reputation to lend credibility to an unknown company. Several investors testified that Uresti's presence reassured them that their money would be safe with Four Winds. Texas Tribune has more. The Texas Senate Democratic Caucus is calling upon Senator Uresti to resign his position, said Senator Jose Rodriguez, a Democrat from El Paso who chairs the caucus. And Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, the Republican who presides over the Senate, said he would strip Uresti of his committee assignments. Uresti was charged last year in connection with Four Winds Logistics, a now bankrupt oilfield services company that perpetrated a Ponzi scheme against its investors. Uresti served as general counsel for Four Winds and owned 1% of the company. He also earned commission for recruiting investors, according to court documents. More from Texas Tribune. State Senator Carlos Uresti, accused of misleading a former client who invested in a company in which Uresti has a financial stake, was indicted Tuesday by a federal grand jury on 11 charges over his involvement in the alleged investment Ponzi scheme, and he also faces a separate indictment alleging bribery surrounding a government contract. In the first indictment, the federal grand jury charged Uresti, a San Antonio Democrat, with 11 counts of wrongdoing over his complicated saga involving a now bankrupt company. The company, Four Winds Logistics, purported to sell sand used in hydraulic fracturing, a process that extracts oil and gas from shale rock, but has been accused of misleading investors and grossly misspending funds. The grand jury indicted Uresti on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, 5 substantive counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of securities fraud, 1 count of engaging in monetary transactions with property derived from specified unlawful activity, and 1 count of being an unregistered securities broker. Lock him up.